Monday night.
Mambo Simbo.
Hey, this song slaps a little bit though.
Mambo Simbo. Mambo Simbo. Mambo Simbo.
West Pop. They're almost like West Pop folks are almost like the Fijians, huh? They kind of remind me of West Papua. Yeah, West Papua New Guinea.
Young ones like to live on the edge, got lost one night, found in the end.
Yeah, that's right.
You lose hope, you know my spirit. The village is there, you best believe it.
Song called In Mambo. It's like it's their culture.
Powered
Go ahead with
by
the intro.
Riverside FM.
There you go, powered by Riverside FM, ladies and gentlemen. Start with our intro. As we started off, man, you know what I mean? We got to give it a few minutes. I like playing a little bit of music, cuz, so that way our people can get online, because it is what it is. Yeah. This is your boy, Kenny Moore, from the Wild Oats Podcast, and I'm with,
Lost the mouse.
and we are the Wild.
Wild goose.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit better than last time, Moose.
Ladies and gentlemen, man, happy June. You know what I mean? Me and Cuz, we have a few topics that we're gonna go over. But since it's the month of June, bro, did you know how many awareness that we have going on in the U.S., bro? Like,
No, tell
like
me
the
about
awareness,
it.
bro. Well, we're gonna break it down. I don't know on top of my dome, but the first one we're gonna cover is Pride Month. June is Pride Month, man. Born of Stonewalls. It was an uprising in 1969 when some of the LGBTQ people said enough is enough. It wasn't just the protest that they did; it was a demand for visibility and equal rights. So today we see parades and parties, but let's not forget about the roots where revolutionary of all those their people, the LGBTQ plus community who made it happen, man. So, not just celebrating. So, the question to me that I want to ask you is: do you think that the LGBTQ plus community are celebrating real progress, or are they watering it down?
No, I think they're making progress, man, because remember, now they got pronouns, what you announce people, and that's a big statement, a big issue in local businesses, schools, whatever, man. I think they came up from a long ways from the early 90s. Remember, 90s, it was not accepted being gay. Like Ella, she had a hard time in the 90s when she first when she came out the closet. But look at her now. See how big her success has been since she's been on air. So like, she got her own talk show and she's you know promoting this too. Came a
Yeah,
long way. It was
yeah, man. And I like to look up some data for backing up facts. Let's see here. The Time says that the first Pride March was in New York, and that was in June 28th, 1970. They call it a militant revolutionary act. That's crazy, man. I didn't know that was going on, man. So big ups to them out there. Outright International says by the year 2022, over 105 countries have held pride events, including places where homosexual is still illegal. So,
mm,
but for our culture in Samoa, man, we always embrace the fafafinge.
yep.
You know. So let me ask you that. I was asking sis that too. So does the fafafinge fall under LGBTQ Q community? Oos, what do you think? Or is that just
I believe
different?
so.
Because think
Because
so.
yeah, because it's basically guys acting like girls that you know having the same issues as girls. You know what I mean? Like they like guys too when they become a fafa finger. So that's ain't that being gay? So that's part of the community.
And which countries do you still think that the LGBTQ plus rights need their support?
Well, I would say it would be like the Middle Eastern countries. You know how they're really strict on their customs over there. Like Iraq's one of them. Probably like Turkey. I don't know. All those countries out there because they old school. Remember, they don't even allow their women to show their face over there. So especially if they see this kind of people acting like this, they won't accept that over there. They're hardcore on their stuff.
How do you think us islanders, respect the LGBTQ plus identities?
Well, I think others also like Samoans were raised, with the five fingers and we're used to that customs. In our eyes, it's like, oh, they're just regular people. It's like wheels up, raised with them, growing up around them. And like, it's not like we look at them like, yeah, get away from you. Like, you don't want to be girl. It's like, nah, we accept them as our culture. We got no problems with them. I got no problem with them. Shoot. As long as they don't like have issues with me, I'm good.
That's what's up, Boost. Yep. So we want to do a shout out because that's the month of Pride, man. Shout out to y'all folks for being out there. My middle child, he's also gay too. So shout out to you, my lovely son. For real. Yeah.
Only little man, yeah.
hmm And then the other one that they have is a Men's Health Month and International Men's Health Week. So June is, yeah, that's what we have. We have Men's Health Month. Did you know about that?
Nope, did not know about that. So you
Yeah,
just
man.
mentioned it, buddy.
For real. Shout out to Queen for always reminding you about that stuff. So that week also leads, because this weekend, Father's Day is coming up. So
Oh yeah.
some say that it's designed to shine and light a light on preventable for preventing us men or trying to help us be aware of mental health because a lot of us men don't like to talk about that. Talk about prostate cancer and self checkups. Oops. So until it's too late, you know what I mean. We know from what we just received from one of our family members, man. So rest in peace to the Uso, and also his son, who's now going through what he's going through, man. But what's crazy is before I ask you some of these questions, is they say that Men's Health Network, 1 in 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. What you think about that, dog? That's crazy, man.
That's crazy. Figure high numbers. I was like,
Kind
I
of,
don't know, but going to my booty don't find his ass crap.
it's crazy. I remember one of our uncles had to go through that. That's how he found out he had cancer. I was just like, damn, bro, that's just like crazy stuff, man. Some men are significantly less than women to see doctors regularly. Do you have that issue? Because I feel like I do. Stubborn to go
well,
to see my doctor and follow up and all that stuff.
well, now I gotta follow with all my conditions I got, so I'll make a monthly visit, one or two, see my doctor and make sure nothing else happens, nothing new pop up.
See,
So
keyword. You said now
yeah,
you have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Now you have to do that. Why do you think us
oh yeah,
men ignores these kind of stats, Oos, about
because you
health
hard
and all that?
head, it's just like I don't need to see no doctor until it happens to you, and then we're like, dang, I should have seen a doctor when I should have, before this escalated and got to where the point that it's a little too late now. But now you got to change your lifestyle because it already happened to you. Like our family, we got a lot of heart problems in our family, diabetes. It's like, man, it's
Hello.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You got, even young members getting on dialysis already. That's no bueno, bro. It's like we should have been
That's
taking
facts.
care of ourselves from the get go. See, I can speak on that because I'm like one of those results who don't listen. Bad things happen. Because we're just
Yeah.
hard headed. We're just like, hey, it ain't gonna happen to me, but it happened. Now we're here.
I hear you too, bro. I mean, in 20, what is it, 25? In 2023, bro, your boy was held up in the hospital, man. Never thought it was gonna happen to me, man. I was being very stubborn, and I'm just like chilling. Like I was having a hard time breathing, bro. And, I was smoking heavy.
Yeah,
I want to say a pack a day, smoking heavy. And me and Queen, we was just doing our podcast here and there. And then that one night, man, I'm like calling her up, like, man, cuz I don't feel good. I can barely breathe. She's like, you need to take your butt to the hospital. And I was like, I was trying to duke it out. Man, around midnight, I was having a hard time trying to grasp air. So, went up to my wife, like, I got to go to the hospital. So I drove my butt to the hospital. It was about 20 minutes away. At the ER, they said that they needed to take me to an actual facility where they can actually, do some work on me because things are not looking good. My dumb ass decided to, like, nah, I'm gonna just wait because I was kind of freaking out. It was because I went there by
Yeah.
myself, and I was like, is this really happening? I was being very stubborn. I guess I was just going through like this can't be happening to me, yo. I'm only like I think I just hit 40. It's like I'm only 40, bro. I'm not. Don't tell me I got
That's a
issues
hard head kicking in right there.
for real, right? So I get
Yeah.
home. I get home like maybe 4 or 5, no, maybe like 6 in the morning. My wife wakes up, she's like, everything all right? And I was like, well, they tried to take me in the ambulance. It's like, why didn't you go in the ambulance? I'm like, well, first of all, I was thinking like this is just my thinking. First of all, I was more worried about you and baby girl. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to go over there and get held up while you guys don't know where I'm at. She said, take your dumb ass to the freaking hospital. So my wife drove me to the main hospital. As soon as I got there, it only took like 5 minutes getting checked in, bro. I was already on a freaking table, butt naked strip and stuff, and they I had to go through my veins. I forgot what that's
Yeah.
called. Like, is it a CPAT or something where they either go through your wrist or they go through your thigh? So they went through the thigh to go like to put some like camera thing in there to
Yeah.
to bring the wire up to get me checked. I don't remember any of that stuff. I just remember one thing is like they're like, we're gonna have to shave your pubes. So they shaved it. As they were shaving it, it was like two nurses, bro. I was hella embarrassed, but I was like, that damn free balling. I'm free balling on the damn table, butt naked. You know, I was more I was more like I was like, man, it's my pride. I was like, man, I hope my damn thingling is like hard to kind of show some like manhood and stuff.
You're like, just for the record, it's kind of cold in here. So,
Well, all I remember is that as soon as that like shave touched my like thigh, then I don't know, bro. I passed out, like, cause they put you under the medicine and stuff. I wake up
yeah.
and they were done, bro. I was just like, dang, already done. But they was on it for hours. I was just like, what's going
Yeah. So
on?
you was getting operated on big time, bro.
For reals. And I was more concerned about my dingling, not looking right instead of worrying about my health. Oh, so that's my own thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's probably your heart that's the one that's messed up, and you always worry about something else.
talk about. I was like,
So, I don't care about my heart, but just don't please, like, don't mention anything about that.
oh man. Hey, I feel like a whole bunch of men has that kind of thing, bro. Like the pride, the ego is more important than damn. It's like
Yeah,
really your manhood, I think that's why it's hard for a lot of men, and probably now we die so a lot faster than the women. You ever heard about that one? They say that men tend to pass away earlier than women does.
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that little stat. Well, they also say women mature faster than men too. So, you know,
There you have it, man. So, what's one health habit every brother should start today with, man?
I'll just say watch what you eat because what you put in your body, what I'm saying, the results come out later. Like me, I'm trying to work on my dieting because I used to be a big time junk food person. I love sugar, love chocolate, love cookies, but all that's no good for me though. So I'm just saying, like, just trying to keep track what you eat, like eat healthier, eat more greens, drink more water. Because I usually just drink nothing but diet sodas to get it. That's okay because there ain't no sugar in it, but it's still bad for you though. But just cut
Yeah.
down on those things you don't really need in your life. Just trying to eat healthy and stuff. That's what I think would be the biggest start. Is just to eat right. Start off from there, and then everything else fall through.
And how you think we can push men's health in our islands?
That'll be kind of hard to do that, but just like I say, promote dieting, promote exercising. Just to do that through our platform and do that through social media, or even go to like functions. Like family functions, church functions. Fundraisers, whatever they have going around in our community.
You don't think that's happening already? Because I do see a few social media and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's people already doing
Some
it right
Usos
now.
doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're promoting that health.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. We just need more people pushing it and following it. Just like be committed to it. That's the big word is commit. Like commit yourself to eating better and doing better. That's like my problem is I have a hard time committing to anything. So I was like, oh, I was saying it's good for a couple weeks, and I'm back at it again. Back to the old styles. But now I really gotta be committed. Just me and my kids. So I gotta make sure I'm here for her, watch her grow up. So that's my goal in life.
Damn, that's what's up, bro. That's tough. So the next one, awareness in the month of June is PTSD. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's shining a light on folks living with trauma, veterans, survivors, everyday people carrying such scars nobody sees. PTSD isn't just about war. It's violence, accidents, loss. And in the
Yep.
Pacific Island communities, bro, we don't always talk about mental health. You know what I mean?
Nope.
We just talked about that. So, how many of us are got to go through broken stuff or have the experience of those kind of stuff before real change happen or before we actually focus on it? And I'm only saying this also because in the U.S. Senator resolution, the page 41, well, it's called the U.S. Senator Resolution 4541, Jews designated PTSD because the awareness month since 2013, the CDC it says that about 6.8% of U.S. adults experience PTSD in their lifetime. Women they experience that twice more than us men. But here's my question, bro: what's one story from our community or for yourself that shows PTSD is real?
Actually, I really didn't run into anybody with that problem, but I could see it like one of the uncles that was an ex-marine. Well, he'll just snap. Like one little thing will like just cause him to react. I think that was a little form of PTSD when he had. But other than that, I never really ran into folks with that problem. Like for me, I didn't have it because when I was in the service, all we did was just play basketball and ping pong in the warehouse, bro. Easy money. But I really haven't experienced that with anybody in our community. But I know it's there though. It's just a lot of pride of saying they don't want to show other people their problems. They just try to deal with it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I experienced a few people that I have that's actually going through some PTSD and stuff, which is like some of them would like say one of my buddies was like, "Oos, all I do, I drown myself at work. I just work a whole bunch of overtime because
Yeah.
when I find myself a lot busier, like keeping myself busy, that actually helps replace, of what that individual was going through. I've actually been around a lot of friends and family that has PTSD. Some of them, yeah, some of them are vets. Some of them is just from their childhood, just the way their parents was raising them. Some of them grew up in like an abusive home, and I feel like I wouldn't say I feel like I've seen a lot of some Polynesian community, you know, as when I was in high school, middle school, and a few college life. Some of them was going through that. I didn't even know that that's what it was. To be honest, was PTSD is because there was snap. It was snap and just get frustrated and
Just
just start
tripping on
swing,
you. Yeah.
just start tripping on you, just start wilding out using their hands and not realizing like there's a lot of things that are causing where that trauma came from. It also happens in relationship too, bro. Believe it or not, man. Some people are just insecure, and you wonder
Yeah.
like why they insecure. Well, it's their upbringing, man. It's just stuff like that. So
Yep.
my
Everybody's
question,
brought up different.
yeah, yeah. Are we failing, but not by not teaching how to heal after trauma? I'm just specifically talking about even us as individuals to our children, to our partners. Do you think that's something that our Polynesian folks are going through?
Shoot, I think like my our side is like we're teaching our kids, what what's really there because we didn't get got taught that when we were growing up from our parents. Because
Yeah,
our upbringing was way different from the way we raise our kids nowadays. So at least they're getting a lot more information than we did. So hopefully that passes on to them when they have their children, and they can learn from us, and then they could teach their children something new too, you know, just a new way trying to break that circle, like keeping everything in and not explaining everything to us, like real problems, because we were like disciplined in a different way compared to the way we discipline our kids. And it's just all knowledge, knowledge is power, man. It's like just keep spreading that knowledge to our kids and hopefully pass it on to the future generations.
How do you think that us, the Wahoo's podcast, can help find resources for our people?
Yeah, sharing is caring, networking,
There
if
you
we can
go,
find
man.
out information that other people can't, and everybody just network and just share it with each other, spread the word, everybody share what they know. It's like that's good. We got people that comment and they share with us their knowledge too. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we say something we don't know the full detail of something, and then somebody will hop on and just like tell us about it. That's the good thing about this podcast, bro. It's like you got reactions, interactions. Like if I don't know someone else will know that thing. It's like don't stop asking questions. Just keep finding out until you do. It's like don't stop pursuing it. Just like trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And June is also National Safety Month. They're focused not just on helmets and seatbelts, but on mental safety, community
Mm,
safety, disaster readiness. More than half of workers have never had CPR training, and traffic deaths often spikes in the middle of the year, bro. It's crazy. That's what the stat says. Safety starts with awareness, and it's time that we all take it serious. At least that's what you know the department that came up with the awareness, because the data does
yeah.
show. Well, national safety councils since 1996, June has been dedicated to reducing preventable injuries and deaths at home, work, and road. The AAA Foundation says that drowsy driving causes 10% of crashes, and many goes under unreported. Oh, that's crazy stats right there. It was for real, man.
That is
So
scary
what's
stats.
that's what I mean. So what's one safety move we all skip every day? What do you think is one of them, bro? Just off of the stats I just read.
Well, the way the stats was in, I think people don't get enough rest before they start driving.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know
Eh,
there's this strip between Nevada and Utah on the 80. It's all white. It's just nothing but salt, and that's a boring drive. So there's no scenery or anything, and that's where a lot of accidents are caused right there. People falling asleep.
You know what though? It's so hard for me to even like for whatever department came up with all these awareness.
Yeah,
Of course there's a reason for all these awareness, and we're talking about specifically work. Like one of the incidents of driving is falling asleep because not getting enough rest. But then your job, whatever your job is, they like it's like getting bullied. It's like you need, obviously we all need money to pay our rent, or just whatever our lifestyle is. And it's like, well, you would think that if that's the case, to allow our workers to get the rest, shouldn't they stop having us start these crazy different shifts? I mean, because I remember growing up, maybe it's just me, growing up in the 90s, I've never seen my parents work like night shifts. But it feels like in the late 90s, all of a sudden we have these graveyard shifts and different shifts to where you have it's like a normal thing where you have folks in the US be like, there are people that likes to work graveyard and there are those that just like to stick in the mornings. But that kind of
yeah,
messes up all the patterns of sleep time. Is all I'm saying, those. And then you were working 7 days a week, bro. Like, come on. They want to really help us with and spread these awareness for safetyness. Shouldn't they be tapping into these corporations that are forcing us regular workers to go and report 7 days a week?
yeah, true. But they do got the rule though, like you at least need 8 hours before your next shift. You know what I'm saying? Like so, basically, they're telling us they can give us a shift and they give us enough time to rest for it. And plus, the reason why our shifts changed over the years is because they got so many industries just opening up, new manufacturing companies, just from everywhere, man. It's like the normal like even doctors, for example, it's like they have crazy hours too. You know what I mean? They're like working in the middle of the night and they're always on call. So and those guys usually get like 2 hours of sleep, but everybody else is just like at least they get a set schedule and they get a set schedule to get some rest off. Because I know like when I was in the military, they won't make you work over 16 hours. They'll give you at least 8 hours rest between your next shift. So at least they give you 8 hours. So basically 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours to get ready and do whatever you need to do, eat and sleep and shower. You know, but that's what I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, that's what's up, Boost. Here's one. Here's another question about these awareness, safety awareness. You think that should we require CPR training? Everyone should that be part of like having a high school diploma? What's your
Yeah, I
thought
think
on that,
so.
Oos?
I think it'd be very helpful if everybody knew CPR because like it actually works. CPR works. It saves lives. And if somebody could help somebody out, because like how many times you see like people just filming when somebody's having a seizure or a heart attack, and they're just filming them. It's like anybody knows CPR, and then it's like everybody responded, no, I don't know it. And so you get a random firefighter or a nurse that comes in by and finally saves that person, but sometimes it'd be too late because they already been gasping for air for like over 4 minutes. But I'll just say if everybody learned it, like everybody got a better chance of surviving. It could be anywhere, a restaurant, a bus stop, like swimming pools. When the lifeguard ain't around, you can perform CPR on somebody, and then there's all these other places, man. It's like you don't know where it's gonna happen. It can happen anywhere.
You're right about that, bro. Because shout out to your sister and cousins.
Yeah.
They were certified CP, that got the training. Excuse me. Remember our first family reunion that was held in Reno, and my
Oh
mom,
yeah.
like she's like doing her like testimony and stuff and shouting
Got
whatever, and then
emotional. Yeah.
she got emotional, and then she just like collapsed, and then your sister, cousins, and all of them came in. They gave moms maybe a year or two more year of added to her life because maybe it was
Oh
a three.
yeah.
What year was that? I don't remember the year, but it felt like they
I think
saved
I
my
think
mom.
they gave her another 3 years.
It was 3 more years, folks.
Yeah.
That was so. I'm a testament to that, man. I can speak on that. I I I was certified. Yeah, I got training on that in Wisconsin back in 2019. Maybe I need to go take another class. Something I'll bring up to my work. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yep. Oh, that's what I forgot. Also, was like my wife's father. He had a heart attack, and he was at a family function in L.A. and nobody knew CPR, and he ended up passing away by the time the audience or the ambulance got there.
So he
Everybody just
almost
stood
passed
around.
away.
No, he did pass away because nobody knew
Oh
CPR
man.
from a heart attack. At least they could have stalled him for another 30 minutes till the ambulance got there, but he didn't make it. So I think
Damn,
that's
that's
why it'd
sad,
be a good thing
cuz.
if everybody learns it. Yeah, and
For
that was over
real.
30 years ago.
Damn, bro. That's sad news right there, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was just about to ask that question too, man. How do we bring that home for our families? Like, how are we able to talk to our families that we should, like, hey, as a family, you should be required to learn CPR? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Do you think that's a good idea? I think that's a good idea, man. Actually, I'm gonna talk to my family members. Well, we'll probably
Yeah,
look on YouTube as we're talking about it later down the road when we get off this podcast, because I think that is important. That's something I'm definitely gonna, you know, implement in my family also to do CPR, bro.
exactly. Just like have everybody learn it because you never know what's gonna happen.
Because I remember, I did by watching a lot of movies. Right, this is back in like the early 2000s when I came to the U.S. and I was in San Francisco. Shout out to Antikaisawa, Antikala, hooking me up at Joe's Cable Car, baby, out in San
The
Francisco.
old burger spot.
Yeah, shout out to Joe's Cable Car, who's no longer there, but that OG's been around. He took care of the family with the money. But anyways, long story short, man, two ladies walked outside after I served them. Well, I was just a busboy. I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and then one was choking, like she was like having a hard time breathing because she kind of like choked, like whatever
Yeah.
got caught up on her thing where she was having a hard time breathing. And then the other lady's like, I need help. So I walked out there, like, what's going on? And she's like, she can't breathe. Like, she was like almost about to faint. So me watching all the movies, it wasn't CPR. I don't know what I did, but I just went around her back and just start squeezing in. You know how people are choking, kind of like pressing in.
Yeah.
She was able to eventually spit. That food was able to come out of her
Hold
mouth,
on.
and she was able
Was it a
to
hiking
breathe.
maneuver or some maneuver?
Yeah, 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 whatever you call that. I saved their
I
life. It
always say
was,
Heineken. I
yeah. What is it? A
always say
hiker?
Heineken maneuver. It's
Is it a
something
hike?
with the H.
Yeah, whatever maneuver that was, but that was through watching movies, Zeus. I think it was Baywatch. Zeus. Shout out to Baywatch, seeing all that stuff.
So you just copy their actions. It's like
Yeah,
paprika that. It's like pop.
fluke of that, and it worked. They gave me a $20 tip. I was like, anytime, ladies, anytime, I'm there. So I was a Superman one day, Zeus.
Oh, you feel like a hero, huh?
Shoot, I was a hero, Zeus, and it's a good thing I got my own podcast to let everybody know. That I
I know
did
everybody
something.
know about your little story, your little moment.
Like, baby girl, I was, one day, yeah. Now you know. Now everybody knows. And that's all
That's
the
what's
months,
up, though.
bro. That's all the months right there, Uso. You got the pride movement, you got the safety movement, you got men's health. Those are, and then what? Yeah, PTSD. So that's the June right there, awareness, brother.
Oh, and you got Juneteenth too.
On Juneteenth, Us. What is it about Juneteenth, Us?
I don't know. I know it's for the Meulis, so I didn't read too much about that holiday.
Dang it. You're gonna have to make me look at it, Us.
Look it
We
up,
can't.
bruh.
I know, bro. We can't.
Look it
We can't
up.
skip this segment without even educating. Matter of fact, I got the day off on Juneteenth too. I'm gonna play a little
Aw,
bit of music, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if we even own the rights. So disclaimer: this music that I'm about to play, we don't. It's not ours. We don't own it, y'all. So don't sue us and don't cancel us. It's just something that y'all can check out as I look up Juneteenth and what it's all about.
Eh, mambo,
and
Simba, Simba, mambo, Simba, Simba, mambo, ya, 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 ya.
Shoot, this song is actually soothing to it, Oos. Can you hear me, cuz? There you go, man. As you all tuning in, Juneteenth is a federal holiday in the United States. It is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the ending of slavery in the USA. This holiday's name first used in 1890s. Man, there you go, Oos. That's what Juneteenth means, bro. You got that, fam? That is crazy, man. And while we're waiting for Lost the Boss to get his stuff all fixed up, shout out to Queen from the Oos. And she says, highly encouraged to get CPR certifications or just know the basic. That's right. There you go. And it's called the Heimlich maneuver. Heimlich. Fuck. It's a fall, man. We don't even know what it's called, yo. A Heimlich maneuver. Also, as Lost the Boss is still working on his stuff, yep, there you go. Shout out to Queen. Juneteenth is a holiday that celebrates the end of slavery in the United States. That's right, yo. That's what we got going on, families. It finally became a federal holiday in 2021. Yeah. Damn, that's sad, right? That is that it took that long. LGBTQ community was able to fight for their rights and for our folks, our African Americans, man, for the slavery thing. and it finally became a federal holiday in 2021. You know, I used to always feel like I'm guilty of it at time. I used to be like, man, why are these Uli folks or black people are always complaining about this and that? There's always something. Oh, it's unfair. Well, the longer I live here, the more I realize that black folks has been through a lot, man. They have. They certainly have. Yeah, so shout out to my Africans. For real. Oos, what's up with your thing, bro?
Oh, I'm trying to connect my other earbuds, bro. The other ones just died on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you're tuning in, Lost the Boss is he's like what, a month in to learning this podcast. He's almost there where he'll be like Kenny Mufanua, knowing to always make sure your earbuds are properly charged before recording and everything is all ready to go. Oos.
Recording, bro. And
What
they
happened?
just died. They're 100% before we started recording, and it just died out.
Oh, so you basically got a cheap earbuds, Oos?
Like, no bueno, bro.
So you're not connecting no more. Man, just don't worry about that, Oos. I can fix that all for you, bro. You're just gonna make it harder for my editing. But it's all right, Oos. J Bid be making it real hard for me, man. Shout out to J Bid with our episode, with our session, man.
All right, keep back on? Or?
Yeah, you on, cuz.
All right.
Yeah. Let me mark this one right here, because that one, when I do my editing, that way I get you. Yeah, hold your face, because I'm gonna crop this face of yours. It's hard trying to get you a good picture. Oops.
No.
I'm gonna count to like 5 and just kind of give a good pose and look right into the camera, fam.
All right, hold up.
Yeah, that's your look right there, huh? Okay. Yeah. He gave this mean look. Cool. I got that one, bro. That's like you don't want that one. That like look kind of like little nuts and stuff back in there, bro. I mean, at least show a better pose, Oos.
Hold on.
That's the one you gonna give?
Whatever, I don't care. Use my mean one. That one.
Shoot. What's Queen talking about? It's the old one. I don't know what Queen's talking about. It's the old one. Hey, bro, speaking of veterans, man, but I want to fast forward to right now, actually into the present. Did you know that I didn't know Asuelo just joined the military. He's in boot camp. I think he's in week 5 or 4.
Training, yeah.
Man, shout out to Asuelo, man. Really proud of you, young buck. I think if he plays his cards right, I think he can go a long way, bro.
He got the charisma. He could do it.
He got the charisma. You know, everybody from the islands, man, they can go far too. Plus, he joined when he was at he's like in his 20s. So, he's got his mindset. He got his 2 sons that he want to make sure that he make them proud. So, especially with the whole social media thing, man, I think he could take advantage of all that and get his content going too. So, if he wants to make his make it like an actual thing too, bro.
He's doing things. That's good. Got himself busy.
Absolutely, bro. So we now gonna jump into this, man. Also, when people hit the streets to speak out against ICE, they're exercising the rights, right?
Yeah.
But media likes to call it riot. You see how that works, man?
I was trying to twist it, make it,
I was trying to twist it, bro. Did you know that when immigrants or black and brown communities, when they do protests and stuff, you realize that the media likes to portray it and call it a riot going on. All of a sudden, you see tear gas, helicopters. Why? Oops.
Just a reason for them to throw that shit. That's why, bro.
For real, man.
Folks all gather together. Let's go throw some smoke grenades in there. Tear gas. Get out the riot shit.
You know what's crazy about it though, right, fam? The wild thing about this, man, the First Amendment protects that. It's supposed to protect speech, assembly, and protest. But that protection doesn't hit the same when it's if you're not in that certain community. Like for reals, we say this. A lot of folks say this is the land of free, unless you're the one standing in the street demanding that freedom.
Yep.
What's even crazier, fam? So, I like to always go and back it up with data for all those that be like, well, where's the proof at? Well, here's one for y'all, man. In 2020, this is from the ACLU. Police were 3 times more likely to use force, tear gas, rubber bullets on protests led by immigrants or communities of color. Harvard Kennedy School said that over 93% in 2020, the Black Lives Movement or the Black Lives Matters protests were peaceful. But the news, they focus on only 7% of that. So,
Exactly.
do you think law enforcers are choosing who they get to handle with care based on race? Do you think those? What do you say?
It was just already a proven fact that if your skin ain't white, man, you gonna get pressed by the cops pretty hard. Like, remember that Black Lives Matter incident where
George
16
Floyd?
yeah, where he walked up, shot somebody.
Not George Floyd. That was a different one.
No, it was during the Black Lives Matter protest. He went and shot somebody. Walked back, like he was walking for blocks with a rifle in his hand. You know what the cops did when they found him? They said, "Hey, son, do you need some water?" They catered to him, bro. Then they took him in.
We
He
hear
went there
stories like that all the time, fam.
and they already had a few YouTubers back in the days did an experiment where they had a white guy walk down the street with a rifle, then they had a compared to a black guy walking down the street with a rifle, and guess what the outcome was?
The white dude was like not harassing the black dude, just got
Yeah,
like,
he was asked questions politely and everything. Black guy didn't even ask questions; they just straight tackled him. See, that's already bias right there, bro. It's like they already choose who they're gonna defend, and that's what the problem is going on. It's like all this police. That's why a lot of people hate police because of stuff like that, you know. Then you get the very rare ones that are cool. They don't see color. They just see people. But then you got those ones that they be pressing you if you're not white, man. I think comedy movies always make that joke, you know. As long as they roll with a white person, they're good, you know. It's in movies, it's in like commercials. It's like, man, it's crazy.
you know, it just does suck though because it, and like we're not. I'm not saying that it's every white or Caucasian is like that. No, that's not the case. It just kind of sucks because it takes a few, or sometimes people say a majority, that ruins it for everybody else. Well, it
Yeah.
takes a little of them that ruins it for everybody else. Because I'm in the state of Kentucky, and I'm in the South. I've lived in South Carolina too. My point is, coming across a whole bunch of white folks, I don't experience that. There's only very little of them, and that's any race. So, for my own personal opinion, Bruce, it's a little bit harder because of my choices of where I decided to go about things and not seeing it.
Well,
But
you got folks around you. That's what's good.
yeah, man. And then
As
I
long as
also want to ask you this. Well, go ahead, cousin. What were you saying?
I said, as long as you don't run into no racist folks out there, you're good.
Or I might just be naive to it too. Because I'm
Yeah.
just I don't look at it in that kind of way. Like I said, bro, I don't know if you tuned in and checked out Jay Bidd's me and Jay Bidd's podcast last week where he talked about the MU, which is MU people. They were supposedly apparently they were like the first descendants in the world and stuff, but you know, we don't hear about them because it's been buried. And these Mu descendants are like half God and half human. So maybe because the myself Kenny Mufonua has that kind of presence around me. Oos is what I'm saying, cuz you can hate me all you want, like Cat Williams said. Feel free to hate on me. Like
You're a demigod.
for reals, I'm a demigod, bro.
The tongue would say you a Debbie Below, bro.
Anyway, yeah, bro. So here is calling it a riot just a way to shut people down. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what it is because we both watched the YouTube of it in LA, right? Of obviously the who are they called again? ICE. They trying to shut it down and turn in all the immigrants. So the news seems to always say like, man, there's a riot going on. They don't really cover that 90% of those folks are actually there for a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Because you have these like outsiders that be coming out, man. You know, I like to call them them folks from like who are they? The ones that are not there for that reason, but they're there because they want to start trouble.
Yeah.
So they'll be engaging. They're probably the ones even starting the whole thing, breaking into stores and all that stuff just to start it. I feel like, and it has been saying there is a conspiracy of it. Like, well, they probably just like they sent people out there to start something, so that way, the enforcers or the laws can come in and just start, let's just say the rich folks are trying to start all that. You never know, man. There's like, or the 2%ers, these hidden people that has so much money that they get so bored that they're able to create chaos. That's what I'm saying, bro. That they're probably just trying to set all that up to enforce violence. And here's my crazy thinking. Here I am thinking I'm going left with it. I feel like this whole past 2 weeks, Donald Trump has been attacked. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not a Donald Trump lover. I don't follow him like that. But I just feel like there's a whole bunch of connections going on with him, especially with the Elon Musk tweet and stuff. And then you have all this thing going on. And then the media trying to say, well, there you go. Donald Trump is just sending in the National Guard to do all this and that. I feel like that there's something brewing and this is just a part of like the left or whoever side are brewing this to pin Donald Trump and his. I could be wrong though, but I just feel like there's something more to it.
Yeah, probably is, but we like nowhere knowing to like the real cause behind everything they running in office and all that, Like it's all smokes and screens, bro. It's like we don't know the truth. We just believe what they tell us, what they put on the media. They kind of misdirect. I was like, that's y'all life, whatever y'all want to do. As long as I take care of my family, that's all I care about. But there is a lot of stuff going behind the scenes that we don't know about, bro. It's like you can't even really talk about it because then you get red flagged by the little algorithm system they got connected to everybody's phones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They're trying to block it out. So then here you go. Then let me ask you this question, News. What would happen if a protest like this happened in American Samoa, in your own ground, or even Hawaii? How would you handle those people that are trying to protest? Like, let's just say they're not even of American Samoan descent. Let's say they're people from Upolu and stuff trying to protest. Like, you're trying to deport us. How would you handle it? Cause keep it real. What happened?
Unless they get out of hand, like you said, they might have somebody trying to instigate something, but as long as they're doing, speaking their mind, speaking their word, it's like, because someone came to Samoa to live with families and, help them with fouls and stuff, but just let them do their thing, Like, I ain't hate on them. We welcome them. I got Upolu blood too, so I'm not hating. So I'm like, sure. Like, even the Tongans, if the Tongans were trying to get deported, like, we love Tongans too. We got Tongans in our family. So I just let them do their thing as long as it's peacefully, like they ain't overdoing it, being too aggressive with it, It just gotta be cool. and speak your mind, speak your words, and get your message through. But non-violence.
But what if they was just like stomp on like our grandparents' graves and stuff? You know what I mean? You know how we
What?
have our grandparents' graves like in I'm like trying to like I'm just like you know what?
Start stomping them.
Yeah, for real. That's what I mean. It was just kind of like we say this, but you know what I mean. Like if it was actually your own land, your own property, and people was to come on, it's like, bro, get the heck out. Thank you for taking care of our plantation and all that stuff, but no, you are not going to come here and try to tell me that you won't.
Non-violent, Oos.
What?
Situation, it was non-violent, but if you say they stepping on our tombstone, that's really disrespectful in our culture.
For reals, and then, we have a few businesses out there too trying to come there and throw rocks over there on the business, bro. You know what's about to get laid out. It's like, that's just the way I looked at it. I'm just like, because the whole thing is like, I understand. You can see it both ways. The one thing that I'm not against, and I hope that our Mexican families do not take this offensive, but when I was watching what I watched on YouTube, you see Mexican flags flying around.
Yeah.
So I asked my question like, okay, we're in America. It seems and it feels like. Now let me put that into a perspective of like, it's an American Samoa, and you having a different flag. Let's just say Mexican. We're trying to kick them out, right? For the same situation. I'm just saying. You think we're going to allow a different flag flying around our island?
Nah. Our people got the idea.
So that's the same thing. That's just how I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is as Americans, that's the only thing I had a problem with. I'm like, nothing against Mexico, but if you're going to wave your flag around, you might as well take your ass back to the country where you came from. Yes, I'm American Samoans, but I don't be flying my flag around like that, bro. I'm proud of being American. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's just
the most do it too. They be sporting the flags, both flags, with pride.
Yeah, but we don't really see other nations really like flying. They're just flying their own flags.
Shit, you be seeing people fly around Nazi flags, bro.
For real. They even fly around the Confederate flag, Goose.
It's like it's not racism, it's history. I was like, bro, what does that history represent though, man? You guys were all about slavery.
And listeners, man, this is just being big lost the boss, just chopping it up, bringing it to perspective. This is our own conversation, man. You go ahead, drop it below the link, drop a comment, let us know how you feel, bro, because we just talking about it. So it is what it is, man. Yeah. So ICE was created after 9/11. Did you know that?
Well, really?
Yeah. It's been not that long. But when you ask folks in LA, New York, or even in Kentucky, everybody feels like that ICE is just like they're just hunting families. Nobody wants to see a raid at 6 o'clock in the morning, bro. Seeing your parents getting snatched up while the kids are just dropped off at school, while you're trying to drop off your kids at schools. People who lived. Here's the thing, though. There's another thing that people are talking. Well, those that are feeling like they're doing a little bit. ICE is doing a little bit too much because, like, people who live. One of the arguments that I'm hearing is like, hey, some of us lived here for 20 plus years. Yeah. So it ain't about safety no more. It's about fear. That's what they're saying. And the crazy part is, bro, some of these folks pay taxes, and they still get treated like criminals. I'm not just saying that, bro. I got data to back that up too. It says over 11 million undocumented immigrants, with 2/3 having lived here in the U.S. for more than a decade. And guess what? Because undocumented immigrants contributes $11.7 billion in annual in states and local taxes, bro.
That's crazy.
So it makes you ask the question, man, how is someone a threat if they've been living there and paying taxes and raising kids? Who's like, what the F, yo? I didn't know that because I just found that out myself too.
Yeah, that is crazy info right there, bro.
Because my thing is, cause I'm all for those that are like kicking out the immigrants that are not doing the right thing, because we are descendants of immigrants. We are U.S. national, but we still have to either pay taxes. So I only have issue for those that are in our country not paying taxes because everything that we have around us is through taxes, you know. So if this is true, well, obviously it's true because it's stated, maybe the ICE thing, Donald Trump bringing in the National Guard, is a little bit too much. Cause that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that is crazy work though. There's like, hey man, they even deport U.S. citizens. Remember when Trump deported that one guy back to El Salvador,
Yeah.
or U.S. citizen, or he got pardoned or something like that. And then Trump trying to Photoshop those MS-13 tattoos on his head. So I was like, and then the head of ICE wouldn't even respond to the question about the photo. She just kept saying whatever, just repeating herself over and over, ignoring the question about the tattoo.
Oh, so my other thing is, bro. My question is, why don't we hear these numbers on mainstream news?
Because they're trying to hide some facts, keep the truth from us. It's like they want to feed you what they want to feed you. And they make you want to believe what they say, you know what I'm saying?
Bingo. Hello.
That's why I said they like point you in one direction, bro. It's like, look over there, but we're actually doing this over here. You know, it's like we're doing something shady behind your back. Y'all don't even know about it. But that's just America for us.
Do you think that ICE should be reformed or shut down altogether?
Probably reform, get better leadership in there, making better decisions.
There you have it, y'all. Drop it below. Drop a comment below, man. Let us know if you think that ICE should be reformed or just drop down altogether, man. So here's one thing, Oos. This is where
Yeah,
things get tricky, bro. This is after doing some last minute research. You got a
yeah,
peaceful people showing up with signs, right? They're chanting peaceful chants, and the energy is peaceful. But then fireworks goes off, property gets damaged, like we talked about, and now it's a riot. But here's the question, Oos. I even asked myself, but who threw that first bottle? Who lit that first fire?
I'll say
Because too
some
many.
part of the protest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though, because it's like too many times these protests gets hijacked by outsiders. All of a sudden, the media ain't talking about ICE; they talking about broken windows. Oops. And the only reason why I say this because according to data in the FBI, this is the FBI, bro. Back in 2020, extremist groups, left and right, have used protests to stir violence and chaos. Oops, unrelated to the actual cause. There are footages, bro, in 7 cities showing non-local instigators violating these local tribes. You know when they're doing protesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. And then also like it's like the majority of the folks that are local that it's like whatever they're protesting for, they're trying to do a peaceful one, but it's always somebody outside that has nothing to do with the cause causing these craziness, bro.
oh yeah, they just want to start something up
Why do you think outsider jumps into it, Oos, and and creates this chaos, bro? What you think that's all about?
because it makes their it doesn't make their process valid. They try to make it look like they're the violent people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to,
Yeah.
this is all to what you call it, aggravate them and just make it look bad. Just like I said, like how social media picks up the little dumb things like damaged property. When the whole protest, they're trying to direct you away from the first message of that protest and trying to make you focus on the bad outcome of that protest. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to make you say, "Oh, but this happened at this protest." They're not trying to get that message from the protest to the front line. They're trying to make you think about all the negativity about the protest, what happened at the protest. Like,
So you think that these protest sabotage thing is it a real tactic?
yeah, everything has tactics behind it, bro. Like, come on, I was like, everybody got to ruin somebody. It's just like if you try to come up in business, you got that one little hater that's gonna bring you down. You know what I'm saying? You're
We
trying to,
see it all the time, Boost. We see it all the time, bro.
yeah, somebody's always trying to chop that tree down from you. You know. And same thing with the protest, man. They're trying to twist it and make it like focus on something else, so that word won't be heard.
Oos, man, how do we protect the message when the media wants a spectacle going on?
Shoot, the only way I can see is like you form a task force to take out those instigators. You know, protect.
So the ICE has their task. So you're saying that the people or the government should create like a task force for like these medias giving out these false or spectacular, because they're all about the numbers. Oos. They're always just trying to trend on the numbers, cuz.
Oh yeah, how many views you get, how many response you get. I'm just saying, like, if your groups go to protest, make sure you got a group of people that's watching out for y'all best interests and making sure there ain't none of those instigators around. You know what I mean? Just protect your group. It's like form your own security. Make sure that nobody comes and interrupts y'all protests.
Hmm.
Because
That's
when you have big of a crowd, you can't keep track of everybody, man. But at least
damn.
know all that's part of the protest. Like, have a sign up or something to protect yourselves. So it's like have a list. And if that fool ain't on the list, he ain't part of the group. Separate them, because they make their way.
They make their way, cuz.
Yep, like a snake in the grass, bro. That's what they wait for. Wait for the time to attack when nobody's looking. To cause a stir for no reason.
So here's the thing, Goose. Because we're islanders, Pacific Islanders to be exact. We might think that that's not our fight, what's going on in LA, and actually what's going on in the nation.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Goose, what do you think? Because I feel like it is. What do you think? You think that we should care about this?
Of course we gotta care about it, man, because our family members are part of this too,
Amen.
One that U.S. citizens yet. I know someone that been here for a long time never took care of that, but now it's time to just take care of it. Never too late, Get your citizenship. So anyway, you can keep yourself in the States.
And for the naysayers, Zeus, and for the naysayers, I'm speaking to us Polynesians. If you think this doesn't matter, man, let me tell you something, man. Our people have overstayed visas too, worked under the table jobs,
Exactly.
lived without paper, like lots of boss is talking about. Some still are afraid to get help when needed. You know why? Because they ain't got no papers. And what happens to one immigrant community, which is like the Mexican, it's affecting the Mexican community right now. Y'all think that that's not going to happen to us? They don't care, y'all, if you Samoan or Mexican. If they label you undocumented, your ass is grass. Man, you like that? Zeus?
Rhyming.
For real, bro. So the question is, man, do we wait? Well, no, we don't, because you answered that. But I just want to ask the listeners, man, do we wait until it hits your doorsteps, or do we stand in solidarity now? Let us know, folks, because you know what? The data, it backs it up. It's why I say, here's an example for just us being American citizens, well, American descent of American Samoa. U.S. nationals, not full citizens, can't vote, but they can get deported. Pacific Islanders in the U.S. often live in mixed status in the household, vulnerable to ICE enforcement, even when legal presence. I'm telling y'all, man. How close to home is it for your own families? Y'all should think about this because it does matter, folks. If you knew someone from the islands was being deported, what would you do, cuz?
Feel sorry for them. Like, man, I wish I could have helped, before finding out about they were getting deported. That's all about it. It's just like trying to help them before that situation gets there, before it's too late. But I feel bad if I couldn't do anything if I had a family member deported. I'm like, it's out of my hands now. It's like, if I would have knew about it earlier, I could have helped, trying to get it situated, help you get your paperwork, But now it's too late. I can't do anything about it if you get deported.
You think that's why our folks from Samoa, Upolu, have such a thing where they I don't think hate is the word. Just have something like don't trust American Samoan descents. Because we tend to take stuff lightly because we are in the we're a US national.
Yeah.
That can easily become citizens. All we have to do is swear in. Compared to like our brethrens from Western Samoa, or right now known as Samoa. Because I don't see that a lot. Because like from us from the 684 talk
Yeah.
about these stuff, but I do see a lot on social media and read few books based off of like our brethrens from Upolu who are real. I don't know what the word is, Zeus, but they it's something that it's passionate to them
Yeah.
because, and it's sad. I hate to say that because the world doesn't know that we're different, or are we really different?
I think everybody in the same boat is. We got the same problems, same legalities that we got to go through, and everybody has families, so it's just the same situation, just different backgrounds. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has that same issue, but just dealing with differently.
There you go, man. That's that topic on the ice happening in LA, man. All prayers, hopefully, hoping for the best for everybody, for real.
No joke with
That's
that.
that right there, cuz. So the next one, man, this next one we're talking about, like I told you, Oos, there was like a shot, a gun. What is it? Sin City Manny guns down Fina the Legend on Las Vegas Strip. Some say that allegedly his wife too, or a girlfriend, or
Yeah,
significant other was gunned down, man. And I just shared that with you. Shout out to the difference for giving us this information. Did you look into any of that stuff, bro? Because all I can tell you, like I told you over the phone, they're both YouTubers.
yeah,
Um, I guess they had a beef a few months ago, 6 or 7. I'm not sure how long. And this Sin City Manny guy showed up at the strip right in front of Bellagio and started shooting the dude. They shot him a few rounds allegedly, and then it's been allegedly confirmed. I'm not sure that this two of them, both of them, passed away. That's what
yeah,
I got out of it, bro. What did you get
yeah.
off of
Both of
that?
them got killed.
Damn. Damn, damn, damn. You know what's so sad about that? It was because I don't know if they still have it on where his I don't know if his girlfriend again, I apologize, or his partner or his wife, she's
Yeah,
like, I don't know if they were streaming live too on their YouTube channel. And yeah, they, like I told you before, bro. I mean, it was like the day before they got gunned down yesterday. They were at the old Las Vegas Strip. They were having a good time. And then him and his girl were just happy to be there. They're just having a good time, bro. And just next you know, the guy walks up, pop, pop, you're done. And there's other videos on, maybe one more on YouTube, where just a different person walking down the strip and just heard the gunshot go off and everybody start running.
yeah.
So it sucks. It was like, what's your take on that one, man?
It's crazy because somebody actually showed part of the video where old boy Vinny was setting up his camera right by the Bellagio, and
Hmm.
it's Vegas Manny, the other YouTuber. It shows him walk by the first time, and he looks and he recognizes old boy that he had funk with. Then it shows him come back, and that's when the popping started. He pulled out a strap off camera. He popped old boy first, and then I guess there was another video where it shows the camera like it's falling back as she got shot. You know what I mean? So that was crazy, all live and stuff.
All live, and I'm surprised that YouTube even allow it. I'm probably gonna get shut down soon because that Manny guy, the Sin Manny dude, yeah, his channel has been restricted. I was
Oh yeah,
trying to see if it had anything on him. And I guess it comes to the question, bro, with the content creators, especially YouTube content, or just any social media content creators, is it really that necessary? Is that beef something that should go this far to for this happens, man?
I don't know. I
Like,
know off with a lot of smack talking. People getting their feelings hurt. If you really had a problem with boy, man, just do it the old school way. Just fist fight. Not to pull out a strap and take somebody's life off of some talking over the internet. Being a keyboard. I was like, do it like the old school, man. Just like everybody just duke it up and then have a beer after. Become friends. But nah, he ended both of their lives, man. Rest in peace to the two, but that was crazy. And Danny ended up turning himself in, Manny. Because I'm right there looking for him last night, but they couldn't find anything. But he turned himself in somewhere around 2 in the morning at Henderson Police Station.
So what was the whole point of him doing all that?
Exactly. And you couldn't go get away with it either. It got him on camera, you know. It shows face before he did the shooting.
Yeah, all the witnesses was calling him out by his name, so he was done for it.
Yeah, people know you, and you're a local, and you gotta do that. I was like, man, that's crazy. Off of some smack talking, who knows what kind of beef they had. I never heard of these two, but until right now, you know.
Me too. I haven't heard about them until this news, man. So I'm just like, why didn't him, Manny, even think about it? I mean, there was already blueprinted laid out for y'all, content creators. If you have beef, heck, our Samoan Usos are doing that, calling them out. They have real beef, man. They be calling them out to go box, like make money off of it. Why did he do that? Because the Logan brothers already, the Logan brothers have already established this blueprint for all these content creators. Find, if you have a beef, well, might as well make money off of it. But
yeah, just like blow it up. Don't have to kill him.
Yeah. It was Steven Setu was calling out another dude that was a content creator. But the Polynesians, because it was getting that beef was getting like
bad,
getting bad. But it was good to see the two brothers show up at a podcast. So shout out to them for making that happen. It just shows you how people are built different, man. It just sucks to like. I remember, I think it was Tyrese. Shout out to Tyrese and $1 million worth of game. I just watched that podcast today. Tyrese said something that really caught my attention. He said, $1 million worth of game moves, Wallow and Gilly the Kid or Gilly.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you ever seen them, but they went to Tyrese's house. Tyrese from what is it?
Baby Boy.
Yeah, Baby Boy, right? Went to his place and stuff, and then it ended up to the question that they were like, why do you think that people ain't no longer like nowadays gangsters are different. They don't have the khakis or the dickies on. And Tyrese like, yeah, nowadays they got skinny jeans, bro, with a backpack that has a little dinosaur hanging out. Like, ain't nobody, it's like the ones that everybody used to clown on. They say, oh, you're gay.
Yeah.
Are like now, those are the real gangs. Those are the actual gangsters now. Like, they're blended. Like, you can't really tell the difference. It's almost like that 21 Jump Street when Channing Tatum and the other guy went undercover, and Channing Tatum goes back to thinking that it's still the same high school. He go punch the dude because he thought he was the bully, and to find out the dude is actually gay. But those are the popular dudes, and the nerds are the popular dudes in that time.
Yeah.
Like, the game has changed, so you can't really judge a book by its cover nowadays because it's the shooters are the ones that are wearing skinny jeans. They're actually, some of them paint their fingernails.
I didn't even know.
So where am I getting at with this? My point is, you gotta be careful because you never know, man. Like, the game is not the same anymore, even for us Samoans and Polynesians. A lot of us used to be so tough and like, yeah, walk around. Yeah, you see that on social media. People brag about like other race brag about like Samoans and Polynesians, just like the most toughest people in the world. But the game changed, fellas and ladies. Just because we have the strength, strength can dodge a bullet, bro. Getting clipped or even getting stabbed,
Yeah, they got the pew pews now, man.
That pew pew is real. Like, I ain't the type that's gonna walk around in public act like I'm the toughest thing out there, bro. Like, I walk around and having peace with everybody. And life ain't worth it, man. Life is too short to be trying to act tough. That's all I'm saying. Cause
be careful who you start your troubles with, man.
Exactly.
Just stay out of it. You never know what's gonna happen.
And then I got the other one, man. Other one. What else did we talk about? We covered ICE. We covered this one, and then I also told you about. We're going back to AI. Well, like I told y'all, the backstory, man, y'all. Me and Lost the Boss. We talked about AI, and I was sharing that one of our content creators that we follow, and she, shout out to her for bringing up that topic because we were talking about AI. You know what I mean? And I just want to bring it back up because her take on it was interesting. And I'm just like, man, yo, you should have just shared that out to the whole world because you forgot. And it's Lana Nay. She forgot to I don't know if she did that intentionally or this is her. And she's talking about this, y'all. I'm just gonna play it through. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
AI having a relationship with
Started from the
AI
beginning.
for men. One of my users brought up the topic of AI having a relationship with AI for men for emotional, mental, and physical needs. And while he and I think the person that he was interviewing both thought that it was kind of weird, but considering the fact that we already use ChatGPT and people already talk to AI at some capacity throughout their daily lives now, I think it's like a win-win all around because imagine having a partner, which is AI, that you can rely on all of those needs without you ever having to reciprocate the effort back to that individual. Whereas if you had an actual partner, you're going to need to do that wholeheartedly with your chest. Additionally, it actually will keep women safe because the men that actually need a lot of that mental health and a lot of that sexual angst to be alleviated, right? Essentially, without ever having to lay a hand on another woman or, gaslighting or manipulate a woman just to get those needs met.
What you think about that, cuz? Her take on it.
That's good. She got a little opinion about it too. You know what I mean? Keeping the perverted men away from real women. That's cool.
Yeah, shout out to Lana Nay, man. You know what I mean? So for real. I just wish Lana Nay was to tag on that so that way it can go on because I shout out to her because she called out a topic that we were covering. The people ain't talking about that, man. And that's her point of view of it is for physical abuse, right? I believe that's what I gathered from
Yeah,
her.
just basically keeping men away from real women.
Mhm.
So they can fake lady and get all the stuff they need. Like I said, like they want to hear what they want to hear,
Yeah.
Tell me I'm great, baby. It's like I need that in my life.
And then you also mentioned our cousin, man. I like what he said about AI. What did he say, man? Let the audience know, bro.
So little Chad was saying like back before AI was AI, it was like back in the late '90s. You was my AI. I came to you for all my answers. Like, oh man, I appreciate that. I was like, that really felt right there. Thank you, little Chad. Appreciate that comment, man.
Hey, man, yeah. Hey, it made me think like, hey, bro, you know what? AI before AI was created was basically anybody, all who we called OGs, the original genuine or the original gangsters is who we looked up to. Whoever you looked up to, that was really your AI. Gave you guidance, gave
Yep.
you.
Or Google search out,
Yeah, before Google search was even out too, man. Everybody used to. That's where we got our info from the old heads. My cousin here, man, Lost the Boss is older than me too. I used to seek for you for advice. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
yeah, that's an interesting topic right there, bro. And we're rolling right into sports, man. But we got covered, Oos. Before you have anything to say, man, I just want to talk about Shiloh Sanders, Deion Sanders boys. The other one, Shedeur Sanders, man, he's been covered a lot. But only reason why I want to talk about Shiloh, I could be wrong, but I realize that he's not wearing number 21. And
Yeah.
I only bring that up is kind of like, man, how much of these boys are going to get the hate? Like, is it that deep? Grown men, grown
Yep.
rich men, grown professional men who play shades on these young boys, man. It's like, I get it, teaching them a lessons, try to show them the way, but generation changes. So like we have to adapt too and be able to in a working place. I'm only talking about a working place because I got younger generations that or the Sanders, Deion Sanders' son's age. And what I realize is like when I try to implement structure of what we grew up with, it doesn't work for this generation, this current generation. But they care for the job at hand too. You just got to know how to approach them. They got a different kind of swag that they have that you got to respect it. You have to, that's just me. That's just my personal opinion. So what you think about that?
Yeah, just like just teach them what we can. That's all we could do is teach them, and not force them to do what we did. You know what I mean? It's all they take what advice they get from us. It's like we're not really strict like our parents were to us. Like just what they come down with a hammer and tell you better do it this way, whatever. But I'd say just let them do their own decisions. And they'll grow up to find out if they made the right one or not. But it's all up to them. We could only teach them, but we can't force them to do it.
Yeah, that's how I feel, bro. Because the number, I'm just like, damn, y'all, you don't gonna give whoever the guy that's wearing 21. I didn't go that far to look it up. I'm just little stuff like that caught my attention. I'm just like, yo, man.
No, but the head coach was giving him props though, saying that he's doing good in OTAs. It's like his son's athletic, and he's a fast learner, so that's a good thing for being a rookie. He's like, man, he's just like catching on to the system real quick. Even his dad, hit him up on Instagram saying, "Oh, I'm proud of you, son. Doing a great job at Tampa." At least he's getting more praise than poor Shador is, what I'm saying, like at his training camps. But I can see this one being probably all-star, man, like going up. And he'll probably get that number, because he'll earn it. That's probably what the OGs are saying about it right now. They're like, nah, you just young, but just because who your daddy is, nothing good mean I'm going to give my number up for you, But I think he's going to earn that number, dog. Get that 21.
You know who else did that at North Carolina Panthers? Because Cam Newton talked about it. Somebody had his number, because the number that he always wear. I forgot what it was.
Number 2.
Whatever number that was, but that person would not give it up. He actually tried to charge Cam Newton. And that's why Cam Newton stuck with number 1 to remind him. So he's like, yeah, it's just amazing how, again, grown folks are envy or whatever they're feeling.
Salty about it, huh?
Yeah. I'm just like, yo, man, we're talking about prime. And maybe I'm biased about it because I've always been a Deion Sanders fan.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, give them the props, bro. Like, they forget that Deion Sanders is the number 1 and will always be the number 1 defensive back that literally changed that lifestyle of that position, and just the fact, it just sucks to see grown folks not honoring prime time, who's done a lot for the community, to like play his own sons like that, So I'm rooting for the two boys that they shine like how Caitlin Clark is, and stop these haters from hating, dude, because this is ridiculous. Not only you got the owners of NFL trying to teach a lesson, like for what? They're the number 1 hypocrites, the owners. A lot of them don't even care about the damn sport. They're all about their money and their pride.
Yep, trying to get their franchise to win a Super Bowl.
Well, not all of them. I've heard that from a few of my sources always told me. Like, here's an example. Cincinnati Bengals, because I don't bring them up because there have been a lot of someones that went through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had the right people, but Cincinnati Bengal owners didn't care too much about the Super Bowl as long as their numbers, the money was coming in. They're not like 49er franchise and New England who's trying to get championships. They're just all about the money, man. Some of these owners, that's all they care about. They don't care about the sports.
Yeah, I don't know how if they care about numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that make your numbers go up if your team won the Super Bowl? Bring more fans in, build a bigger fan base, bring more viewers. That's what I don't get. It's like, if you're only caring about, what numbers are you caring about? If you do everything else, your numbers will skyrocket. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, crazy.
Until we become and make that kind of money, that's the only time we can actually answer that. Because it's like the guy from the Clippers, Sterling. when he only brought the team. Of course, yes, everybody. For those that are Laker fans, we all know the story. The Bus family, that guy Sterling or whatever his name is, the old owner for the Clippers. He's the one that funded them to get the Clippers. So he made so much money, he decided to buy the Clippers and make a team off of that, to where all he wanted, he only did it because he wanted he had so much money. He just wanted the same respect that Bus was having.
Yeah.
All the flamboyant and all the attention that the Bus family was getting.
Yeah. He went in
So-
for the wrong.
Yeah. And that's the same thing that's, same can be said with a lot of these owners. I mean, we hear it all the time. Detroit Lions, I believe it's a female owner. I mean, recently, she just got lucky with the picks that she got, where she got great players. But the
Yeah.
Detroit Lions, the history, the data doesn't lie. They end up being the same way that they are, because the owner just doesn't want to build that championship. That particular owner, just the number shows, man. Same with the NBA when it comes to the Mavericks, it's a female owner. Now, again, I'm not having anything against female owners or anybody. It's just she's building a casino, allegedly. That's why they gave away Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Free up space, cap space. That's another thing. It's not so much that the owners don't care about the championship. They're just not willing to sacrifice the money, even though they're making a lot of money. Maybe
Yeah.
that, like I said, until we become actual owners ourselves, we'll start understanding their language.
Through the Mavericks, remember the Mavericks, they were crappy way before Mark Cuban took over.
Mm-hmm. And Mark Cuban sold. He still got some stakes in it, some shares in the Mavericks.
They
Yeah.
traded the star player.
Yeah, when Mark Cuban sold his company, the Mavericks, it was somebody's, that new owner, whoever that new hiring manager was, to manage it, to save money and get, it's a
Yeah.
business move. Oops.
He's the one that brought up that franchise out of the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, he built it. He got Dirk over there. Then he got Luka, was just the latest greatest pick he had, and sold it. And then look what he did. Shot themselves in the foot. Just because you said they're trying to save money from the new owners, but you lost a lot of fans too. Same thing.
Yeah,
Goes down with that.
that's crazy. Cause what you got on sports, Oops?
Not just what the finals. The NBA finals is what 1-1 now.
Mm-hmm.
Next game in Indiana. I'm really hoping for the Pacers to win it all, though.
I feel like there's gonna be like a Taylor Swift effect in the NFL if the NBA is being smart, because Caitlin Clark plays in Indiana, and so I have this crazy feeling that Indiana Pacers might win it all, just for that whole thing, bro. Like, it's a setup, Oops. That's what I feel, bro. I'm just saying it.
And plus, they're underrating Halliburton too. That player, man. Stephen A. say he's not a superstar, but he stirred it up in the playoffs, though.
Either he's tearing it up the right way, Oops. You don't know, bro. Like I'm saying, dudes. I'm not saying that the Oops ain't that great, but I didn't even know that the bro was able. The one you're talking about, I forgot his name. I can't even pronounce his last name, but he was part of the Team USA for LeBron and all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was up there too. Whoever that guy is, the one that he's like the assassin for the Pacers. So,
Well, I'm rooting for the Pacers to finish it in 4. Hopefully they can.
gotcha. Yeah, I want to see the Pacers win too. I actually like that kid, man. So we'll see how it goes. Zeus. You got anything else on sports?
Not in mine right now.
Did we cover all the topics we said we're going to cover? Am I missing anything?
Yeah, we got a majority of them, Moose.
Yeah,
Did a great
So-
job.
we did, right? And we jumping it right down to motivational posts. Here's a Why Oops motivational post for y'all today. You're strong. You're brave. You're capable. You got this. That's the Why Oops right there, baby. And I just want to do a shout out, man. Shout out to JT Demolition and Excavation Services. That's the main sponsor. That's where they got Big Cisco, the Western Conference, and all these artists like Tanel, K Nova, Finn the Groover, you name it, all coming. Ciosi, you know, all coming down to Reno, Nevada in July 5th, man. Shout out to you, Uso, man. So if you know him, Us, let JT invite him to the platform, bro, so we can have a talk because I want to know why, Us, why were you able to spend that money, willing to spend that money on something that it's not even a part of your category, Us? Why, Us?
Loose for sure. I'll try to get a hold of him.
Yeah, man. Let JT know to get up on here and let us know, man. Let the people know, you know, because you just talking about it, man, got me all fired up for it too, bro. And I'm going around social media. My thing is like, why are these artists, or am I tripping, or I'm not, or I'm not doing my research, but I don't see these artists promoting the show, this hot show that's going to happen in July 5th, baby, for real. You know?
Exactly. They got a lot of followers. Post it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, big ups to you guys for that one, cuz we got another good one tonight, cousin. Unless you got anything else, bro, we about to call it a night.
Deuces.
For real, man. So again, to the listeners, y'all, stop the hate. It's June. If you're a man, happy Father's Day as we coming into the weekend. If you're gay or whatever you are, LGBTQ plus community, shout out to y'all. And for those with PTSD, man, we pray and we are rooting for y'all. Feel free to come on YOOs, talk to us, let us know what we can do to support y'all. Prayers to also, you know, everyone that's getting deported or getting just the way you guys are getting handled by ICE. Hopefully everything works out, man, because the world is a place that we are all. What am I trying to say, cuz? What am I trying to say, cuz? You get what I'm trying to say? It's a good the world is a good place to be. Whatever else. What happened? You got interrupted?
Yeah.
Well, we out, baby. Let's go.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah, we just gotta wait till it